afternoon. When Shalini mentioned she was before lunch, actually I am before lunch. But Saundarya, brilliant presentation. You really woke the crowd up. I think all of you know me. In fact, you know even the nanny of our boys. So there's no introduction. There's no need for my introduction. But what I wanted to talk, and when this topic was given to me, disrupt, and when my sister was given excel, and I said there could not have been two perfect alignment of topics. All our life, my sister has been the big child, the older sister, which you could have made up by now, and she's focused on excelling. She's focused on making path-breaking conversations, entering fields which she could not, typically could not assume women to do. And she's always focused on being the good daughter, the good sister, the good leader. I have always been very innovative. I wouldn't call it disruptive, but being the quintessential younger sister, I've been very innovative at home, very disruptive, very curious. I remember my mother saying, and when my sister's boys question, and we get tired out of patience with them, they tell, every time she would tell me to do something, I would ask her why. And I would keep on asking her why, till she kind of said, do it because I'm your mom. So that's how the story of our lives went. And if I see that, and I reflect back on my journey to where I am today as a group director for Microsoft, the path I've followed has always been in areas which are disruptive in nature. The companies I have joined have always been the ones who have been pallbearers on driving disruption in the industry, from be it Infosys to IBM to Vodafone to now Microsoft. We have always been a clear leader in the journey to a digital disruption or disruption of an industry. And that's where I wanted to speak about. Disrupt is not about breaking things down. Disrupt is about rethinking, reinventing, relooking at business problems, not technology problems, business problems, life problems, and coming up with newer ways of trying to resolve or meet a business solution. And that, for me, is the power of disruption. And digital plays an extremely important role. Kamran alluded to the point that we are on the fourth stage of industrial disruption, the first being the steam engine. And when steam engines were brought in, productions became easier and they were used in industries. Then came the second when electricity was formed. And electricity formed a key aspect of pushing plants and manufacturing units. Then came the third level of mass production, which was primarily with the advent of IT and technology. The fourth industrial disruption is where we are now, where we take digital to take it to the next level of technology. We have already had IT systems as the foundation, and now we're taking it to the next level of disruption or innovation to bring in new models, new business solutions, new way of doing life, new way of buying and selling, or even communicating with each other. And it's a busy slide, so I'll walk you through slowly. When we in Microsoft talk about the power of cloud, what we say is when you take the power of cloud and you bring it down to the endpoints, to the devices, and you give a device or an endpoint the ability to sense, to capture, to react, to take timely interventions or timely actions, even in places where you may have network or may not have any network or connectivity. That is the intelligent edge. And as we expand the ecosystem of intelligent edge, as the number of devices become connected, the ecosystem becomes stronger and larger, that becomes the heart of digital transformation. IoT I strongly believe, is at the heart of digital transformation, because these connected devices will capture the information, will give you that data, which helps you analyze better, which helps you do your business better, which helps you create new business models, which helps you make life better. India was, as per NASSCOM a couple of years back, was supposed to have 1.9 billion IoT devices in this year. The last I read day before in Economic Times, the Cisco predicts 2.1 billion by 2023. That's more than the population of the country. Look at the immense amount of communication, sensing and data generated across the length and breadth of the country. And I wanted to pause there and say, what are these use cases which will make a difference? Use cases are not the traditional help optimize or improve productivity. We all know that. But these are use cases which will help you monetize business, which will help you create new business models. One of my favorite examples is, if you imagine a tire, and that's hardcore manufacturing, as manufacturing as you can be. And you can imagine, can they offer things as a service? But they can. Michelin does that in the US. They offer tire as a service. They actually give a promise to customers saying, you pay me if I help you reduce your fuel consumption by 10%. How are they able to make a commitment like that to their customers? They're able to make that commitment because they have leveraged the power of digital, using IoT at the center of it, and are now using the age-old science of tire pressure mechanism to be able to communicate that promise. And that is the power of IoT, being able to transform a traditional business, manufacturing business, where you sell tires and then you forget about it till the guy comes to buy a second set of, to a service. Now you have a lifelong relationship with that customer, and you develop it, and you are able to groom him for future different solutions that you're willing to create. Take Kone elevators. They don't talk about elevators as, they call it vertical transport and people flow. The conversations of these businesses have changed because technology has now given them a room to do more beyond the traditional businesses. The other aspect of IoT is sharing economy. Who would have thought that we would be okay staying in a house of someone else's house who was not related to us, Airbnb? Who would have thought that we would take a cab ride with strangers? People in Bombay would, because all the time we do auto rickshaw share and taxi share. But in Bangalore and any other parts of India, who would have thought it's okay and it's safe? Uber, Ola has made it okay. And who would have thought that you have bike sharing? In Bangalore, you have bike sharing. You can actually ride a bike and share a bike, and you can make payment online. So the entire aspect of a sharing economy is something which IoT has enabled. Now, if I come to something which is closer to my heart, optimize. When I say optimize, this is not optimize of machineries or productivity or people work. It is optimizing our life and our well-being. Two cases is secure. IoT has enabled people to have a secure lifestyle. When you talk about video surveillance, or you talk about something as base as street lights on the road, which will ensure a dark patch is always lighted, and there's no chance of something happening there. When you talk about tracking devices, or more importantly, when you talk about exoskeleton, which allows someone who's lost your ability to walk, who has had a spinal injury and cannot walk, that gives him the ability to walk. It secures him a lifestyle he thought or she thought was lost to them. And that is the power of IoT, backed by obviously AI and business modeling and the whole lot of things. But that's the core, that's the basic building block which allows someone who cannot walk to be able to walk. When you talk about prevent, you have cases like Omron, and you have cases of diabetes machines or blood pressure machines or pacemakers, which can now tell whether it's not working fine or whether there's been a change in your body constitution for which your doctor needs to be informed. These are life-threatening skills. When you have a pacemaker and that doesn't work, you lose a life. But now, with the power of technology and IoT, you can actually tell when the pacemaker has stopped working or something has changed in your body. And that is the power of IoT. That is the heart of the entire digital disruption that can be done. Why am I saying these stories today? Because these are stories which a decade back we wouldn't have thought of. These are conversations we wouldn't think is normal to have. You couldn't think of putting a chip inside your body. But this is possible because of technology. And as women leaders and as women in technology, it's important that we understand that all this is possible. We have heard a lot today about women women in technology, in leadership, and things that we should do as leadership. But as someone who's followed always a different path, I have always done what I thought was important and what made me interested in that thing. I've been geeky all my life. I've always picked up technologies which I thought was interesting for me, and that's why I am here. So I never had to make an extra effort other than one thing. I've ensured that I always have a tribe of mentors, a tribe of people I can go back to, a support system. And that is the beauty of where we are today. My sister and I being here is fairly coincidental. It's not a matter, it's not something that we thought of that we will share stage at a time, but it is something, we had different paths. I've always followed a more technical path. She's always followed a more business and a more sales path. But together we are here because today is a time where women leadership and technology leadership are not two separate things. It is one thing. And I'll leave you with two quotes. And my time is up, that's why I'm rushing it. I'll leave you with two quotes. The first is something my first boss told, Nandan Nilekani. Infosys, when I joined Infosys, my first boss told us, he said, you can learn a lot of stuff in Infosys, very good career and all the stuff, but the only thing I want to leave you with is in your life, if you can in your life, if you go to any place, any city, you should have 5 people you should be able to call and have a meal with. And that's your personal wealth. That is the equity you will create, and that is what will take you higher. If you can't do that, even if you're the best person, the best coder, the best salesperson, you'll never go far in life. So with that, thank you so much for hearing, and have a great day.